Charles Bronson. I swear Charles Bronson is the actor, and the other one's
They've both got the same name.
Ain't it Charles Manson?
It might be.
Is it Manson?
No, I don't know.
Let me Google because
Google
he's trying to
this
pull
thing,
man
man.
on this. You see how
Ain't it funny how Google's our best friend?
On.
Man used to use other.
Google's an extension of the brain right
There was
now.
other search engines. Do you remember like Yahoo?
No.
Yeah. Well, I never used it.
Do you remember Alta Vista?
No.
Wow. The name. I remember the name.
Man was using internet from early, you know. Some people didn't get internet in their house.
That's as far as man go.
Charles Arthur Salvador, better known as Charles Bronson, an English criminal who has been. See, I told you it was Charles Bronson. I didn't know his name was Arthur Salvador, but I told you it was him.
Do you know what I want to say as well? We are not co-signing or like, you know what I mean, this type of behavior. We're not even encouraging you to go and read this book or anything.
We're talking about his press ups.
Yeah.
We talk about his press ups, and he was a vicious, madman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Saying that, 4,000 press ups in a day, 101 freaking workouts and that. Yeah, someone's listening to this right now. They're like, I can't even do 4.
No, they
and next man's listening, can't even do
can.
40.
They just need to not listen.
Like, but you were saying do 30 dips a time. This turned into like a little training podcast, a training conversation.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm mad inspired now. I gotta go and up my numbers. I'm not
That's
gonna
inspired.
That's it. But that's how I see a man do it, and then once I see someone do it, it's like, why can't I do it?
Are you the man that's quick on the beach backing off the chest?
No, I take off my top early, bruv. You know, if I have something for show, someone will show it still, but that weren't my motivation. You know what I want to do?
Straight up, man. I don't know, man. Arms on smash, yeah?
Arms are cool.
But do you like, we're going to wrap this up, this kind of end of the conversation, yeah? But it's very important to do the whole body. Some people are looking like He-Man figures, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
don't do as much legs.
Don't do no legs, no calves, no back.
Still, I'm not even going to lie.
You don't work legs?
I work legs, but not as much as I work my top. Like, my top half, I'm going to bang out press-ups.
But the thing is, as long as it's included, then it's, because like, you know, them, what's that guy that was a character? Is it Johnny Bravo or one of them, man? They're just all upstairs and downstairs some matchstick thing. Yeah, that's mad. That's mad.
Have you not ever thought it was like cool to be like, because there's a rise in mysterious artists, and I'm saying this because an artist I've been listening to a lot, and this is maybe outside of the scope. I don't know if you like listen to R&B much, but Summer Walker, she's early in the game, man. She only released her debut project last year, 2018. Just released her album recently, Over It, debut album after the mixtape and EP. She's been somewhat of a mysterious artist. You know, people don't know much about her. She don't do interviews. Also, another artist that's come out over the last couple of years, Her. She was like faceless at one point, no interviews and all that kind of stuff. And it seems like the mysterious artists, we was talking before about underground artists, people thinking that's cool. There's a rise in like these mysterious artists. There's a few more I can mention as well. Frank Ocean is quite mysterious as well, don't do interviews, you won't see him about. But these mysterious artists, some of them are faceless. What do you think about this, man? Is this the new cool?
Do you know what it is? Like, I put a tweet out a couple of weeks ago, yeah? And I asked this question, and it was just like one of the moments where when 5 minutes later I realised maybe I shouldn't have said that. And I said, does the genre R&B still exist? ? And I genuinely think that, like, to cut a long story short, the auto-tune thing kind of eliminated R&B, and rappers just kind of just took everything. They didn't need no one to come do their hooks no more. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And like, always in the background there was always like is it neo soul or whatever you want to call that kind of wave? Do you get what I'm saying? That was always there. I think it's just changed names over the years or whatever. But what's happened is it almost seems like as much as that music never went nowhere and was always sick, and people that were always into it had somewhere to go, they found a marketing ploy to get these artists to the front. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think like with Her, I was wildly intrigued. I think her music's amazing. Like, I love it.
Summer Walker or Her?
With Her. With the artist called Her. Yeah.
With the dots in between.
Yeah.
Capital letters.
H.E.R if you want to be whatever.
And I think there might be a dot on the end as well.
Okay, yeah, whichever one. But by the time it's come to Summer Walker now, seen it, done it, I'm a bit bored. I just want to hear your song. That's my opinion on it. And it's like, I feel like that's like me being, sorry to shut it down, but I feel like it's just a marketing plot. I don't think all of these artists are really that mysterious. Like with the Frank Ocean thing, my understanding was that he tried to do the whole normal thing, and it was just a bit too much for him because his headspace was crazy at that point. And he just decided, I'm not doing interviews anymore. I'm not doing these kind of things. So I wouldn't read into that as a marketing ploy, but I feel with a lot of these, because I've watched Summer Walker do an interview, and I just sat there thinking, I don't believe this person I'm looking at is genuinely acting as the person I'm looking at. And if you're not going to be real, I don't really need to watch this interview. I'll just listen to your song. Do you get what I'm saying? My personal opinion, I'm not trying to attack her as an artist, but that's genuinely, because you get vibes from people. You can kind of tell when someone's acting or you get a vibe that someone's acting.
Read the energy sometimes.
Do you get what I'm saying? And that's what I kind of feel. And I just feel like, to me, it's kind of annoying. And the reason why I gave you that thing about the soul music is I feel like some people feel forced, if they want to get to the front of and cut through the mishmash, they have to embody these characters. Do you get what I'm saying? But I don't feel, it's like, the music's sick. You either like it or you don't. That's just what I think. I'm done.
I think slightly like there's a lot of characters that are, how can I put it, that don't want the clout. So then they would like to be in the background and not do the interviews and not do the forefront stuff, but they still want to make music and release music and still touch people. Do you know what I mean? So some of them might not have the same confidence or when
they can hide behind that
to talk. Yeah, so they will hide behind it and they do. And to be honest, sometimes the anonymous way is good. Like my last video, I'm not in it at all, and I done it on purpose because I didn't want man to think it's a clout thing or not. And I was dealing with a topic and I wanted to focus on that topic and deal with that directly without confusing.
And you want the focus to be on that.
Yeah, without confusing and me being up in there doing my little puffy thing every minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can the same be said of like UK artists as well? Because, you know, a lot of the UK drill artists, you know what I mean? You've got K-Trap, who recently took off the mask. You got M Honcho, who is a faceless artist. He's behind the mask. Quang Face as well. He wears a mask. I don't think people know who he is. Is there more pros than cons to that?
I want to say this. I think that is a perfect like comparison. I genuinely feel like some artists need to wear that mask for the place where they are and what they're doing and what they're saying. They genuinely need to wear that mask. And some artists are just putting on a mask because they think this is the in thing to do. Like, do you get what I'm saying? I don't think every single one of these. Now, at the end of the day, I'm happy for K-Trap to take off the mask. And RV, I think, took off his mask as well. And certain artists, because they're reaching places within the music industry where they're credible artists now. It's not, I'm on my block trying a thing. And that's how, whether we want to, that's how they start out. That's how everyone starts out. Do you get what I'm saying? No one knows when they pick up the mic, I'm going to be successful in music. So I feel like when you get to a certain point in your career, it does help you not to be faceless. Like, not to just be another one of many and to step forward and be yourself. I think marketing-wise, everything, it helps. So that's what I think, yeah. You're
being quite vocal, Craze, recently about, you know, you wanting to make a difference in what's happening in the society at the moment, UK, in London, anti-gun, anti-knife. There's a lot of madness going on in the streets. I feel like it calmed down for a bit. It was wild when I was younger, I felt. And then I don't know whether it calmed down, and as you get older, your perspective changes. But definitely this year has been a wild year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? With some
I want to try and
stuff.
Help in any way that I can to touch the young. I want to stop people or the youngers going through my mistakes that I made. Because then it's almost pointless me experiencing them experiences without passing it on and trying to each one teach one and make them have a better life. You know?
A lot of people, journalists in particular, maybe older people that don't have as much of an understanding, they blame the music.
No, definitely. I don't.
Do you know what I mean? But before you say something, though, it's an interesting sort of debate because I don't blame the music, and I've always, I feel like in conversations being more leaned towards other things being more to blame. Now, is it the art form imitating life, or is it life imitating the art form?
Both.
I feel like there is a cycle happening. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think there's a cycle, but I think that if we was to, like, let's say we're talking about knife crime, just not the gun crime side, just the knife crime side of it. If we was to look back, you look back in England, so say I'm from South, so let's say we focus on South London. Like, before there was the influx of, say, black people, yeah, the Windrush generation and blah, 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 there was still knife crime, yeah? In the areas where I am, for instance, I'm South London, so I'm near Deptford, near where Stephen Lawrence, Eltham, Deptford, Bermondsey, all them areas there. There was high knife crime. Before the black people came over from the Windrush area, there was the Teddy Boys, there was the Chelsea Smilers, there was punk gangs that was doing the same thing. I remember when I was early in primary school, we was told if we see large groups of white gangs, we have to run. Like, so I think people's got short-term memory. If we study the places and the areas, you will see that it's a poverty kind of issue. Like, it's the poor places, and they just changed the people that lived in them places. So they just took up the same practices that were going on, and it's continuation.
An interesting thing to talk about or think about is like I said, I'm older, and you know, when I was younger, I remember the madness. I feel like it calmed down a bit. I'm from North London. I'm from Tottenham. It was wild before. It's been calm. Maybe some people would say that there's rumblings at the moment. I've started to think recently, like, there's been little things in my areas which have started to irk me. One thing in particular, I feel like the roads have been kind of messy. So I'm like, what are the council doing? You know what I mean? What the council doing? They don't want to clean the streets. So I'm trying to reverse my mind into the mentality of like a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old. If the ends ain't cared about by the government and the council and it just looks rubbish, how well am I going to treat my ends? Then you start feeling a bit rubbish. Do you know what I'm saying? The council, there's nothing for me to do. There's no places for me to, you know, spend quality time. I'm going to find other things to do. I'm going to get up to mischief. So then maybe the mischief involves you doing madness, and then maybe you might make music because music seems to be a way out. Like but then you're already, a release, but then you're already in a mad place. So then you start making mad music. So then that mad music then starts getting listened to by other youths that are disillusioned, who then maybe the music perpetuates an attitude or a feeling. And that's where I think maybe there's a possible cycle. And that's what I kind of been talking to a few people about recently, man. Have you ever thought of it like that?
It's not that I thought of it like that, but it kind of just is that, like, to be simple. Like, I feel like just being a fan of the rap game, you're forever, like, even back in the day when we was younger, if we're going to take it all the way back, hearing rappers say, those guys ain't real. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, they're talking about they got money, they ain't got money, they're not this, they're not that, they're whatever, people are acting. And I feel like what kind of happens is, aside from the where you live and stuff, when you see something that you take a shine to or a like to, it kind of like, some people, not everyone is an individual in it. So other people want to imitate what they see or want to be part of something that they like. Like what they might like in somebody is the individuality, the independence, do you know what I mean? The boastiness, the bravery. But they think, okay, so that person's like that, I like it, I'm going to go and kind of do my version of what that is.
Being from the real streets of South London and coming up in a particular era and generation, Craze, like, what do you think? Like, you had gritty songs. You was around some gritty dudes.
Still
that were
got
making,
gritty songs coming out.
I mean, but like, you had gritty songs back then, and you were around some gritty dudes that were making gritty songs as well. What do you think was like some of the main like inspirations or reason why you were making these gritty songs and they were making?
It was my experiences. It's similar to what you said before about the environment where you're in a poor ends where you can see the deprivation, you can see how poor it is, and you can see that the people don't care about it. For me, I witnessed a lot at a young age. I see people killed. I see a lot going on. So my mind wasn't like everyone else's. And most of the people who grew up in the same environment, we wasn't like everyone else from outside of that environment. We was on survival mode. We experienced stuff that put us where we're always on alert. We're always looking for beef, looking for trouble, waiting for someone to try to kill us. We was in a different kind of space.
Because sometimes we ask, you know, when things kick off and things happen at like shows, inside shows, what was a man doing rolling with that to a show? You're supposed to be going to a show for some fun. You know what I'm saying?
But that's because they're on survival mode. So then
but if you're
show knowing that there's a percentage that they're going to see their ops is there, you're going to see other men who grew up in that same environment that you've grown up with, and you want to make sure you're ready to protect your life.